Good evening, viewers. You're watching News Today at 9 p.m. I'm Preeti Choudhry. Our top talking points this evening: the monsoon session, good, bad, and all the ugly. And there was a fair bit of that. Who won the battle of narratives where the monsoon session was concerned? Also, will Vijay be a superstar in politics as well? What explains violence among school children? All of that coming up over the course of the next 45 minutes. But our last headline is the news that we lead with. Latest, viewers, there's been a press release that's come in from the Sports Ministry. Practically, the government of India has cleared the suspense over the India versus Pakistan match scheduled for the 14th of this month. India versus Pakistan Asia Cup on the 14th of September will go ahead. Government's greenlit it for international levels, ban only on Pakistan bilateral events. The government in a press release has stated that it hopes to also host the Olympics, and where multilateral events are concerned, India will continue to play Pakistan. Bilaterally, there is a ban. There was a lot of speculation on why, after Operation Sindoor, after the Pahalgam terror attack, has India decided to play Pakistan in the upcoming Asia Cup. The date of the match also been finalized, which is the 14th of September. Many Indians did not want that. Lots of speculation on it. And now you have a note from the Ministry of Sports, the government, stating exactly why this particular match has been given the green light. I want to cut across right now to our editor, Sports, Nikhil Naz, who's joining me from the newsroom. Nikhil, what does the government say? Why? Because, you know, one would think there is a new normal that has been defined. The contours of this new normal should not fall back, what has been the old policy of India. But on the contrary, we have decided to play Pakistan come the 14th of September at the Asia Cup.
Well, Preeti, just to break it down into the top salient points of what, firstly, the government has said. Firstly, they've said that no bilateral ties between India and Pakistan, but then that's the status quo. That's been there for more than a decade. People are going to ask, what has really changed then after Pahalgam happened and after Operation Sindoor happens? Because bilateral ties did not were not there for more than a decade, as I mentioned. The other thing the government says that they will allow Pakistani teams to come to India and participate in multilateral as well as international tournaments. That again remains India's stance even before Operation Sindoor. So that's the second bit that the government has come out and said. And the third bit the government says is that they will also engage with Pakistan on a sporting level when it comes to multilateral as well as international tournaments, even away from India. So that's the other thing that the government has mentioned, and that is new even in the light of, as I mentioned, Pahalgam as well as Operation Sindoor. Now, the government has kind of given a clarification as to why they've gone ahead with this decision, because as of now, you remember, there's no social engagement with Pakistan. The water has been stopped there. There is, of course, no business sort of dealing that is happening. It's been reduced to almost 90% between India and Pakistan. They go and say that they want India to be looked at as a viable international sporting destination. They've not mentioned the word Olympics, but we all know that India is bidding for the 2036 Olympics, and said because of that, they will have to continue playing with Pakistan. But there are a lot of contradictions there,
Right.
Preeti, because even if you put this particular reason forward, as I mentioned, because of the situation that you are in and because of some past precedents as well, there is a lot of contradiction, and this does seem very unusual for the government to be saying at the moment.
You know, what's not unusual, Nikhil, in all of this is because this was what India's old policy was. But we live in a new normal, which had been clearly defined by our government post-Operation Sindoor. Many today would question, is continuing with sporting ties over and above the valor of our armed forces? Is continuing with sporting ties with Pakistan over and above the innocent lives that we lost in Pahalgam? You know, there has been past precedents where countries have boycotted Olympics. It happened in the 80s with the United States of America. It's not new if we really want to take a hard stand. The other opinion, Nikhil, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that there is way too much money involved as well.
Absolutely right, Preeti. The questions that you raise, in fact, I'll add a couple more questions to that. Firstly, you talk about the money, but then let me just break down the money chain. Who is to benefit when you look at the money? It's only the BCCI. The government does not benefit with a game that is happening between India and Pakistan. So the question there is, then what is the compulsion of allowing that particular game to happen? And if money is the consideration, I was just looking at India's export to Pakistan. They were at somewhere around 55 million till about a year ago, and now they've been cut down to 5 million. So there's a 90% reduction in exports. So there are a lot of business houses that are going to lose out. A lot of jobs will be lost out because you've cut down exports to Pakistan, and for valid reasons at that. Where does the money chain then go there? So if you're ready to do that for national interest, why must cricket then continue? The other question that comes to your mind, fine, you're talking about being a viable host internationally, and if this was an ICC tournament, you could still say that India would risk isolation, India could risk sanction if they pull out of an ICC tournament. This, remember, is an Asia Cup. Asia Cup, even in the past, has been postponed multiple times. India has pulled out of an Asia Cup because of security concern with Sri Lanka in '86. Pakistan pulled out of an Asia Cup that was happening in India because of security concern. Reasons may be different, but pulling out of an Asia Cup, especially in the current circumstances as we're talking, is also not unusual. And finally, and I think that's the most valid question, even if you're portraying yourself to be a country that needs to host the Olympic Games, most people will ask that is hosting the Olympic Games more important than the lives that were lost, whether they were lost in the 4-day warlike situation that happened between India and Pakistan, or whether they were lost in that terrorist attack that happened in Pelgam. I think that's the most important question, and which is why I say it is quite unusual for the government, after the kind of steps that they had taken in the last few months, to allow an India and Pakistan match to go ahead at the Asia Cup.
But Nikhil, so what could really be the reason behind it? Because, there's a lot of feedback that's coming on it. Most viewers, are actually flummoxed on why the government would make a decision such as this. Because, like I said, you've reverted back to what is an old policy, but these are not old ties. We have clearly defined a new normal.
Well, that's right. I mean, it's really tough to put a finger on why they would be going ahead. I think, as I said, the only plausible reason at the moment seems to be that India wants to portray, and let me give you a bit of a background. India wants to be portrayed as a viable sporting destination, and few months ago, the genesis of it is from few months ago, there was an Indian delegation that traveled to the IOC headquarters in Europe and wanted to know what is it that they need to do to be hosting the Olympic Games. Remember, India is also keen on hosting the Commonwealth Games in 2013, and at that moment they were told that, listen, firstly you have to get your house in order as far as your sports policies are concerned, which has now led to that sports bill that has been passed in the parliament. And of course, they were also told you can't have a situation where you're actually boycotting a country and not engaging with a country when it comes to sporting relations. So you need to be seen as a country that welcomes everyone, because that is the Olympic spirit. That is what the Olympic Charter stands for. So I'm guessing this seems to be the only thing based on which a few decisions have been taken. But then I take you back to that same question. Is it necessary to be hosting the Olympic Games? It's not that India is an Olympic powerhouse. You finished 71st in the medals table last time around. It's not that Olympic Games are a financially viable enterprise. Most Olympics that have happened in the past have all been a loss-making exercises. So what is the urgency and the need, even if this is indeed the reason, for India to be playing Pakistan after what has just transpired in the last few months, just for the sake of hosting an Olympic Games?
Nikhil, appreciate you joining me. We're going to continue to track the story. It's coming at the back because there was a fair amount of confusion on why India has decided to play Pakistan in the Asia Cup come the 14th of September. The Ministry of Sports, which is the government, has given out a detailed statement on why India has chosen to do so. Many, many questions remain unanswered. And ultimately, viewers, if you're going to take an ideological stand, then it needs to be here. You've drawn that hard line in the sand, then stick by it. We're not playing cricket with India's concern. If water and terror don't flow together, then can cricket and Pakistan go hand in hand? We're going to come back and revisit the story later. I'm going to take a cut across to our big debate this evening, and that comes in from the monsoon session concluding. Viewers, it all started on day one with a very unexpected resignation of a sitting vice president midterm. It ended today with the nomination of two candidates one of the NDA and the other of the opposition alliance. More or less, the monsoon session of the parliament this time had been a stormy one, from a fiery debate on India's Operation Sindoor to the vote chori raga, from surprise VP Dhankar's resignation, as I pointed out, to the war over criminal netas bill. The nation witnessed it all.
माननीय सदस्यगण, हम 18वीं लोकसभा के 5वें सत्र की समाप्ति की ओर अग्रसर हैं।
Parliament convened for the monsoon session at a critical time, a month after India launched Operation Sindoor, hitting terror headquarters deep inside Pakistan, avenging the Pahalgam terror attack, leading to a fierce 4-day conflict with its neighbor. The debate on Operation Sindoor was the high point of the session that lasted a month.
Donald Trump has said 29 times. 29 times he said, 29 बार उन्होंने बोला कि भैया मैंने सीज फायर करवाया है। अच्छा, अगर वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं तो अपने भाषण में यहां प्रधानमंत्री कह दें कि वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं। If he has the courage of Indira Gandhi, let him say here, let him say here that Donald Trump, you're a liar.
दुनिया के किसी भी नेता ने भारत के ऑपरेशन रोकने के लिए नहीं कहा। 9 तारीख को रात को अमेरिका के उपराष्ट्रपति जी ने मुझसे बात करने का प्रयास किया। वो घंटे भर कोशिश कर रहे थे, लेकिन मेरी सेना के साथ मीटिंग चल रही थी। बाद में मैंने उनको कॉल बैक किया तो अमेरिका के उपराष्ट्रपति जी ने मुझे फोन पे बताया कि पाकिस्तान बहुत बड़ा हमला करने वाला है। मेरा जवाब था, अगर पाकिस्तान का ये इरादा है तो उसे बहुत महंगा पड़ेगा। और आगे मेरा एक वाक्य था, मैंने कहा था हम गोली का जवाब गोले से देंगे।
The opposition also sought a discussion on the special intensive revision of the voter list by the Election Commission in Bihar, but this was rejected by the government. Amidst this standoff, leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi alleged that a theft of more than 1 lakh votes in an assembly segment of Bengaluru Central constituency in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The fight between the Election Commission and the opposition cast a heavy shadow on parliamentary proceedings, with the India bloc hitting the streets trying vote chori. The Narendra Modi government on the penultimate day introduced constitution amendment bills that would automatically remove any minister at the centre or state level if jailed for 30 straight days for any alleged offence, with a punishment of 5 or more years in jail. The opposition tore the bill as Home Minister Amit Shah introduced it in the Lok Sabha. During the session, there was a rare moment when the government and the opposition came together in the Lok Sabha to move an impeachment motion against Allahabad High Court Judge Justice Yashwant Verma, at whose official residence bundles of burnt cash had been found. This too was overshadowed by the sudden resignation of Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar, who had accepted a similar motion from the opposition in the Rajya Sabha, embarrassing the government. For the record, the Lok Sabha passed 12 bills and the Rajya Sabha 15, most of them without any debate. High on sound and fury, low on substance, the monsoon session was a direct face-off between the government and the opposition, both trying to upstage the other to win the battle of narratives. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the big questions that we asked this evening before we cut across to our face-off: Parliament session high on noise, low on discourse. The Modi government under siege by the opposition. Who won the battle of narratives where the monsoon session was concerned, viewers? And while we debate all of this, just for a moment to reflect on the sheer fact that every minute, yes, every minute that is wasted in Parliament due to adjournments, due to ruckus, chaos, whatever you might want to call it, 2.5 lakh rupees of the taxpayers' money is wasted for every minute. one can well imagine the minutes that have gone down in the making of the monsoon session that were washed away, literally. All right, let's cut across right now to our panelist. Shama Mohammed, national spokesperson, joins us from the Congress. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson, joins us from the BJP. Once again, ladies, I would hope we'd have a civil debate where there are no personal attacks on each other, and we allow the space for each other to speak, and we accord the same courtesy we expect. I would like to begin right now with Shama Mohammed. Dr. Shama Mohammed, it's interesting. Day one had begun on the note of the Vice President quitting unceremoniously, and it's ended on a day where it's come full circle, where your party, along with opposition leaders, went in to submit your nomination for the vice presidential candidate. Ma'am, you're on mute. Unmute yourself.
Before I start, I just want to correct your sports correspondent. He said that because we would be isolated, we are getting Pakistan in. Let me tell you, in 2024, Russia was banned from the Paris Olympics. So that's a rubbish news.
Ma'am, I don't think you... No. 1 second. Dr. Shama Mohammed, please go back, reflect on exactly what the sports editor said. He was just giving various examples, and he actually gave 4 examples. So don't rubbish our report, ma'am. Here the full...
That's a wrong answer, because last year Russia was banned. So that's a wrong one. That's all I told you. Okay, now let me get into this. This monsoon session was a complete failure for the government. Let's start from the beginning. Of course, Jaideep Dhankar resigns all of a sudden. Then we had Operation Sindoor discussed in Parliament. Did we get the answers of Operation Sindoor? No. Who is accountable for the intelligence failure at Pahalgam, where 26 people died? Nobody is accountable. The Home Minister has not resigned. The NSA has not resigned. Nobody has resigned. We don't know why it happened. We did not get answers. Air Chief Marshal, around a week back, says we downed 5 jets of Pakistan. Great news. Why didn't the Defense Minister speak of it? Why didn't the Prime Minister speak of it? Why didn't Amit Shah speak of that? That is what we want to ask. Then why did the ceasefire happen when we are ahead? We should have gone ahead and finished off what we started with Pakistan, got in according to Amit Shah, got POK, which he keeps saying every other day. Trump has said he is the one who's asked for the ceasefire more than 29 times. The Prime Minister of India has not answered why. Our foreign policy is a complete failure. We have been rehyphenated with Pakistan. Pakistan was isolated before. China gives arms to Pakistan. Russia invests in Pakistan steel plant. They have invested in a steel plant in Pakistan. Okay. IMF gives loan to Pakistan. World Bank gives loan to Pakistan. ADB gives loan to Pakistan. No country has condemned Pakistan for this terror attack. They just said cross-border terrorism. That is what is there in all the documents. Tariffs, we did not get an answer. Why 50% tariff on us? What is the reason? So, the foreign policy failure, then SIR, a very, very important thing which has happened right now. No discussion on SIR.
Okay.
We've been asking, one last point. The reason SIR was started, what was the reason the Election Commission of India said? Because we have to get rid of the Rohingyas and the Bangladeshis. Nothing about it. And now she will say, we are not the Election Commission of India.
Okay.
You are, because you've been defending the Election Commission of India in your debates, Preeti. Every time it has been Sanju Verma or some other BJP
okay, ma'am, allow me to bring in the BJP spokesperson. I think where the washout is concerned, I would reckon both the Treasury benches and the opposition needs to take equal responsibility. You cannot shirk it. I want to now cut across to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, 12 bills were passed in Lok Sabha, 15 in the Rajya Sabha. You might say that was a productive session, but is this the ethos of a parliamentary democracy?
Preeti, let me make a few points for the benefit of your audience. The monsoon session of the parliament has been historic in more ways than one. Prime Minister Modi on the floor of the parliament and the Union Home Minister Amit Shah have categorically said Operation Sindoor created a new normal. Goli ka jawab, gole se diya jayega. The new normal is terror and talks will not happen together. The new normal is blood and water will not flow together. And the new normal is that an act of terror will be deemed as an act of war, which never happened in post-independent India. It needed the courage of conviction of a Narendra Modi to ensure that a new normal was established finally. Point number 2. I will now tell you why the opposition has been completely vanquished in one Lok Sabha election after another, and the BJP has been winning the narrative war. सरकार भी हमारी है, इकोसिस्टम भी हमारा है, और इसका एक बहुत अहम कारण ये है. Operation Sindoor discussion, Rahul Gandhi MIA. SIR discussion in Parliament, Rahul Gandhi MIA. Discussion in Parliament to honor Subhamshu Shukla's achievements, Rahul Gandhi MIA. 130th Constitutional Amendment Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. J&K Reorganization Amendment Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. Income Tax Amendment Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. Union Territories Amendment Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Amendment Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. यहाँ तक कि Merchant Shipping Bill, National Sports Governance Bill, Coastal Shipping Bill, Rahul Gandhi MIA. राजनीति में कहावत है, प्रीति, please bear with me for 30 seconds. जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. It sounds very crude, but the fact is Rahul Gandhi is a part-time politician, and as far as the narrative war goes, I have seen in the last 48 hours, very quickly, from a Jairam Ramesh to a Pawan Khera, surreptitiously deleting their tweets, which they had banked on based on information by Sanjay Kumar of CSDA. He himself has publicly apologized for giving spurious information.
All right, ma'am, I just want to, for the benefit of our viewers, because this is a debate, but for the benefit of our viewers, Rahul Gandhi was not MIA from Parliament. He was दिख रहे थे, पर Parliament के अंदर नहीं, Parliament के बाहर protest करते हुए दिख रहे थे on every account that Sanju Verma made. He was very much in Parliament. But there were protests going on, which of course led to a near washout. Before I go to Shama Mohammed, I just want to give a figure there, viewers, for something to mull on. The Lok Sabha this time around, which is the monsoon session, saw 31% productivity, while the Rajya Sabha saw 33% productivity. We gave you the figure of 2.5 lakh that costs the Indian exchequer, which is your and my money per moment. We calculated, and it's equivalent into 121.5 crores for the losses of hours that have taken place. Just mull on that number while I go to Dr. Shama Mohammed, who's with me. Dr. Mohammed, the question is, there is a whole legion of new MPs, and 37 of them are from your party, which are under the age of 50, that really haven't seen how a parliament really should and needs to function, where you look at the ethos of parliamentary democracy. They have no clue, because all they have seen is session on session, washout on washout.
Okay, so she said a couple of things, and I want to come to that. Rahul Gandhi, MIA. Rahul Gandhi was there. Rahul Gandhi is always there. Now, let me tell you, in the history of India, there is only one prime minister who comes when he has to give a speech, and he's never there. He's complete MIA. I mean, he's never there for anybody else. He has never listened to any other speech in parliament other than listening to his own voice. And when he enters, you all scream, Modi, Modi, Modi. What is this? Is he a dictator that he comes only to speak his? And how dare you say, my leader, Rahul Gandhi, is always there in parliament. Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera never deleted these tweets, so don't make up stories. Then she said, blood and water will not flow together. Well, let me tell you, we are playing cricket with Pakistan in the Asia Cup. And you know why? They just said the government does not make any money. But you know who makes money? Jay Shah, the son of Amit Shah. And we are playing cricket because Jay Shah's pockets can be filled up. And who is the other one? Anurag Thakur's brother's pockets can be filled up. So let's understand that this thing, first, if you want to say blood and water,
I'll come to you, ma'am.
not all together. Let me finish. Don't interrupt me. First, stop this cricket match tomorrow. If you have the guts, stop it right now. We don't want to play cricket with Pakistan, if that is what is your case. Then let's understand. Let me finish. Constitution.
Ma'am, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I'll start timing you, ma'am. 30 seconds. Make your
you
point.
bring it one day before because you don't want to debate. You never debated any of those bills. You don't want to debate and discuss any bills. You just want to pass bills without the opposition. And it is the duty of the Treasury branch to run the parliament, not the opposition. You have to run the parliament. You don't want to, and you did not give us the answers. Who is accountable for the security labs in Pahalgam? Who is accountable for the security labs in Pulwama? How did our people die? Why is Ajit Doval sitting there? What is the worst home minister in the history of India behind Manipur, behind what happened to the riots in Delhi 2020? Why has this man not resigned till now? There is no accountability in this government. Nobody resigned.
Ma'am, I'm
You
going to
can just
now.
do what you want. They
Okay,
don't
I
want
have
the
timed
parliament
you.
to
Now I
They
am
make
going
the
to go
vice
to
president
Sanju
resign.
Verma.
They say the
Ma'am,
vice president
allow
left,
me to
could have
bring in
locked him
your
up in a house.
co-panelists. There's no
The
point. I'll come back to
former
you.
vice president is in the
Ma'am,
house
I'll
arrest
come back
in
to you.
India.
Hold on to that thought. I understand you're passionate about your point, but hold on to that thought. I want to bring in
House
Sanju
arrest.
Verma
The
back
vice
into.
president of India is on the
Ma'am, allow me to bring in your
house arrest.
co-panelist. All right,
This
I'll have
cannot be
to do
a
this.
rant
I'll have to
about
put down
process. Thank you.
faders. I'll have to put down faders. There's no point. Okay. I want to bring in Dr. Sanju Verma, who wants to rebut where Dr. Shama Mohammed is concerned. But the sheer fact is, Sanju Verma, that the sheer fact that you can protest in parliament is something that was a model floated by none other but the likes of Sushma Swaraj and Arun Jaitley. That is the place to protest, number one. Number two, Sanju Verma, you're passing bills after bills, but it has absolutely zero debate and zero discourse. Yes, they've gone to the JPC, the 3 bills which have been introduced yesterday, but the larger question is, it's without participation. How do you justify it?
Preeti, now I need my time. I heard her speak for a full 3.5 minutes.
Ma'am, I'm timing you. Go ahead.
Yes,
She spoke for
I
3
need my
minutes,
time.
10 seconds. Make your point.
I need my time without being heckled. Thank you so much. Preeti, first and foremost, I never speak without evidence. The entire media has this news on the 18th of August at 10:25 a.m. Pawan Khera deleted that tweet of his where he had maligned the election commission with respect to data on Maharashtra elections, particularly with respect to Ramtek and Devlali assembly constituencies. So I have not lied. Pawan Khera has deleted that tweet. Shame on Pawan Khera, shame on Jairam Ramesh for deleting that tweets after damaging the election process with their blatant lies. But झूठ के पांव हो सकते हैं, झूठ कभी-कभी सत्य भी कहलाया जा सकता है, पर झूठ इवेंचुअली फेल्स. काठ की हांडी को बार-बार नहीं चढ़ाया जा सकता, अंत में सत्य की ही विजय होती है. And I'm so glad Sanjay Kumar of CSDS has completely nullified the fake propaganda of Rahul Gandhi and the Darbari ecosystem. But I want to make a couple of very important points. You know, Pakistan is like this, Pakistan is like that. अरे Pakistan premi gang of Rahul Gandhi, सुन लो ध्यान से. Pakistan's GDP is $300 billion. Our GDP is $4.3 trillion. Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves are not even $10 billion. Ours are over $695 billion. Pakistan's annual exports are less than $36 billion. Our annual exports are $821 billion. So stop comparing Pakistan with India, though I know Rahul Gandhi and Darbaris love applauding Pakistan at the drop of a hat. Now speaking of Jai Shah, you support Sharad Pawar. Sharad Pawar has been heading either BCCI or ICC. Was he a great cricketer? Ashok Gehlot's son, Vaibhav Gehlot, out on bail in the cash for job scam, was the head of Rajasthan Cricket Board. Vaibhav Gehlot is a great batsman or a great bowler. थोड़ी शर्म नहीं आती है? Your Chief Minister Siddharamaiah was clicking photographs with Virat Kohli when 11 people died outside Chinnaswamy Stadium, and you are sitting here and lecturing about Jai Shah. Siddharamaiah was happily clicking photographs along with his grandchild, despite knowing that people outside have been killed in a stampede. Thodi sharam karo, Shama Mohammed. And my final point is this, Preeti. Let's get one thing very clear. Operation Sindoor, is it a success? Yes. Who says it? Not Sanju Verma. The IAF says it. The Indian Armed Forces.
Okay, ma'am, I'm giving equal time. I'm timing you both.
My final, no, please. Now my final point. I think
you have 10 seconds to make it.
That happened. Yes. Please, Preeti. You've been interrupting me. Please. The best thing that has happened in the monsoon session is Supreme Court telling Rahul Gandhi, you are not a true Indian, because had you been a true Indian, you would not have said without proof that China took away our 2004
I've given both of you exactly the same time, and I'm going to end this debate because the debate was about Parliament, what it has come down to be. Ma'am, I'm sorry, you've got an equal time. I have timed it. I have timed it, Dr. Mohammed. I have timed it, Sanju Verma. You both have got equal time. And the sad fact is, we were supposed to debate Parliament. It's gone down to India playing Pakistan. It's gone down to a cephalogist getting his numbers wrong. Nothing to do with Parliament. We're going to end it there. Thank you, both of you, for joining us. Where Pakistan and India playing is concerned, it's not about the BCCI, it's not about anything, it's about the sentiment of Indians. Do we want to play cricket with Pakistan? We leave it for our viewers to decide. With that, I want to quickly shift focus on the other big story that's coming from the south, battleground Tamil Nadu. Heating up, all eyes were on Madurai today, where Tamil superstars turned politician Vijay staged a massive show of strength. The TVK chief unveiled his political roadmap, with thousands thronging the rally ground to hear him. But while Vijay's entry was electrified, his supporters, it has also drawn sharp political fire. Addressing a sea of supporters amidst cheers and chants, Vijay, BJP, his ideological enemy, and DMK, a political enemy. He further went on to say that he won't join any slave alliance and those banking on alliances are wrong. DMK launched a scathing attack at Vijay, saying he has a lot to learn about politics and that crowds alone will not help Vijay win an election. AIDMK chief EPS also took a dig at Vijay. Listen in.
அப்படிப்பட்ட அந்த சிங்கம் வேட்டைக்கு மட்டும்தான் வெளியில வரும், வேடிக்கை பார்க்கறதுக்கெல்லாம் வெளியில வராது. A lion is always a lion. There are so many jackals and other animals in the forest, but there will be only one lion. And even if it is single, it will be the king of jungle. It is not only a description, but also a clear declaration. சின்னதா ஒரு சர்ப்ரைஸ், நம்ம கட்சியினுடைய வேட்பாளர் பட்டியலை இப்ப நான் அறிவிக்க போறேன். மதுரை கிழக்கு வேட்பாளர் விஜய், மதுரை மேற்கு வேட்பாளர் விஜய், மதுரை மத்தி வேட்பாளர் விஜய், மதுரை தெற்கு வேட்பாளர் விஜய், மதுரை வடக்கு வேட்பாளர் விஜய், மேலூர் விஜய், சோழவந்தான் விஜய், திருப்பரங்குன்றம் விஜய், திருமங்கலம் விஜய், உசிலம்பட்டி விஜய். என்னடா எல்லா தொகுதியிலும் ஒரே வேட்பாளர்னு பாக்குறீங்களா? 234 தொகுதியிலும் இந்த விஜய் தான், அதாவது உங்க விஜய் தான், உங்க சின்னம்.
All right, TVK chief Vijay saying that he is going to be the contestant, the candidate in all constituencies there. So the question that we ask before we go to our panelists, will Tamil Nadu see a three-way fight? Will Vijay be a superstar in politics and Thalapathy a spoiler, or actually a contender? Till now, we don't quite know. He's untested in politics. If you go by sheer crowd, you'd be awestruck. But will the crowds materialize in votes for TVK? That's the big question. Let's cut across right now to Suman C. Raman, political analyst, Shekhar Iyer, senior journalist. Suman C. Raman, you know, if one goes by sheer crowd, you could be in a bit of awe when you see these visuals on your television screen. But what was important, I would reckon, Mr. Raman, is what Vijay actually said. Made it very clear with his attack on the BJP, Prime Minister Modi called them their ideological enemies. There was a nuance where DMK was concerned, stating that it's their political enemy. Softer on the DMK, harder on the BJP, you'd agree?
I think this was a very cinematic kind of a performance. The crowds were going to be there. I mean, he's a big star, so there's no doubt that there would be crowds. But this was extremely cinematic, and you know, the style of dialogue delivery and all that, it seemed to be right out of one of his own movies. My point is, he has said nothing new. It was a speech which was, you know, high on rhetoric, very low on substance. Nothing that we had not already heard. We knew that he had already identified a year ago. He said BJP is my ideological enemy, DMK is my political enemy. He reiterated that using, you know, various other examples and various other things. But my point really is, Preeti, he said that he wants to abolish NEET. He said that Kachativu must be retrieved. Now, all of these are part of the DMK's election manifesto. So, how are you differentiating them yourself from the party that you claim is ruining Tamil Nadu and you want to replace? So, I'm not very clear, what he is actually standing for, except that he now has projected himself as a vote katwa or a vote splitter. So he is going to be splitting the anti-DMK vote to help the DMK potentially to win the election. I think that that's basically how his role is sort of envisaged. And I would possibly go as far to say that, if he continues on this course, then he's very likely a Trojan horse of the DMK. So there's no doubt about it, because the way everybody knows that he's not going to be able to win the election, but he will be able to cut a sizable proportion of vote and take more votes away from the AIDMK BJP alliance, because he says, anti DMK, you must vote for me because the DMK is my enemy. So whose vote is he taking? He's having MGR, a gigantic cutout on the
Right.
stage,
But
and he's
Mr.
praising
Sumant,
MGR.
to say we all know that he's going to come down to nothing, political prophecies have come down to bite people sometimes.
No, I'm not saying he'll come down to nothing. I'm saying that he will take a sizable share of the vote.
Okay.
Maybe
So
8%,
you're saying
maybe
it's going to
10%.
be.
But he's not
Okay,
going to
so-
win. He's not going to win. No way.
All right. Mr. Iyer, would you want to weigh in on that? Because just by the virtue of optics, by the virtue of oratory, he's hit it out of the park today.
Well, this was his second such conference, because last year he had it in Veerapandi. And the only difference this time in the points that he was making is, this time he was directly addressing the cadre of AIDMK. Last time he did not attack AIDMK leadership, as much as he did today. Basically, he was saying, look, look at the fate of the ADMK today, at whose hand it is. This party was started by MGR. Then it was later led by Jayalalitha. So he wants to appropriate the legacies of MGR, right from Annadurai, from Periyar rather, from Periyar, Annadurai. Annadurai was the founder of the DMK. Then he comes to say, MGR. Now, by invoking the legacy of MGR, already the last conference we saw, he brought Kamraj also there. Kamraj was a tall leader of the Congress party in Tamil Nadu. And, what he wants to say is, this is going to be a big change that is going to come in Tamil Nadu. He referred to 1967 when Congress lost the election. Then after that, he referred to 1977 when MGR came to power, dethroning Karunanidhi. So the point he is making is, yes, this suspicion that Dr. Sumant mentioned today, yes, there is a suspicion that he is acting as a vote cutter, which would eventually benefit DMK.
The DMK. Because that language, there was a language shift, Sumansi Raman, and I'll go back to Shekhar Iyer on this. Because of what he said earlier, I would reckon the biggest shift was a direct attack on AIDMK, and then practically, Mr. Iyer is right, addressing the cadre of AIDMK.
Yes, and two things. He says 2026 is a battle between TVK and DMK. So what does that actually mean?
Right.
It means that there's only one opponent against the DMK, and that's me. So that's basically what he's trying to pitch, where he's again making a pitch for the anti-DMK vote. Second, and I think the ADMK has also come out with a kind of attack back or counter attack now. The rather small fact that MGR did not start a party and immediately become chief minister. He had been in the DMK for a good almost 1.5 decades. And subsequently, after he formed his party also, it took him a good 4 years of hard work and effort before he was able to come in. So it is almost 20 years in politics before he became the chief minister. He didn't start a party on Monday and become chief minister on Wednesday, which is what Vijay is effectively trying to do by starting a party 2.5 years before an election and saying that he wants to come to power. And likewise, Jayalalitha was in politics for a good 10 to more than a decade. She was a Rajya Sabha MP. She was a propaganda secretary of the party for many years before she actually became a chief minister. So this whole approach of saying that I will start a party, I've got a big fan base, and I will straight away become chief minister, I don't know how Tamil Nadu is going to respond to that.
All right, Shekhar Iyer, last word in with what Sumansi Raman said, Trojan horse or what is commonality where politics is concerned, the team B here of the DMK.
Well, Preeti, he made one more thing. He didn't, he was alluding, I would say, to major partners of the DMK, I think particularly the Congress. because he attacked the DMK on dynastic politics, but at the same time did not say anything about the dynastic politics of Congress. On the other hand, he said, look, anybody else who want to join this alliance are welcome. That is, obviously, he is looking at one AIADMK's cadres to come to him, and other is some other parties.
You're insinuating, Mr. Iyer, that he's possibly holding out an olive branch for the Congress, where an alliance is concerned. Is that what you're saying?
No, he was basically saying, look, I mean, he did not attack Congress.
He has been calling.
He was talking about dynastic politics, only limited to.
Fair point. Yeah, fair point.
One sentence, Preeti. He has been asking for parties to join the alliance for the last 6 months. Not a single party has signed up. So let's be very clear. It's not that his only condition was they should accept him as a CM face and his party as the leader of the alliance. Not one party has signed up. Big, small, minuscule, nobody has signed up. So I think that.
Did you see today as once again an overture to the Congress?
I don't think so. Congress is wedded to the DMK. There's no way.
You don't think so?
They are like in Tamil Nadu, Preeti, the joke is they are a branch office of the DMK. If you need to meet a congressman, you go to the DMK headquarters. You don't go to the Congress headquarters.
Preeti, I think the last word has not been sent up even on Vijay's alliance plans. I mean, things are fluid to a great extent. Yes, the parties would not easily leave the DMK-led alliance. But in the months to come, because there are 8 months left for the elections, if Vijay continues to get the kind of crowds that he's getting, and there are rallies after, in every district, in every major towns, there could be rethinking among the alliance partners of the DMK too.
Okay, all right. I'm going to leave it at that. Dr. Sumansi Raman is shaking his head. I appreciate both you gentlemen for joining us. I'm sure we're going to have you back on the show sooner than later. Now, in a cramped makeshift room, Rajesh Vishwakarma sits in silence, trying to rebuild a life stolen from him. For 13 full months, he was behind bars for a crime that he did not commit, but for trying to help someone else. A daily wage laborer with no land, no family, and no understanding of the law. Rajesh has become yet another invisible victim of a broken system. We tell you more in our Get Real India report.
Imagine spending 13 months in jail for a noble deed. Last year, on June 16th, Rajesh Vishwakarma took an ailing woman, his neighbor's wife, to a hospital in Bhopal.
पे जा रहा था उसका आदमी भी काम करता था मेरे साथ से बोली भैया मुझे हॉस्पिटल तक छोड़ दो मैंने हॉस्पिटल तक उसको हाथ पकड़ के रंगात हॉस्पिटल ले गया हॉस्पिटल में इलाज करवाया इलाज करवा के मैंने अब तो चले जाओगी घर आप ठीक हो कल नहीं ठीक हूँ मैं तो घर चली जाऊँगी मैं मेरे काम पे निकल गया शाम को आया शाम को पुलिस आ गई मेरे घर पे
Hours later, the woman died in the hospital. The police arrested Rajesh for allegedly strangling her. His life depended on the advocate provided by the government.
15 मिनट तक उसका उन्होंने परीक्षण किया है महिला का डॉक्टर द्वारा तो उसने 15 मिनट तक महिला ने बात भी करी और उनको बताई कि मुझे सांस लेने में तकलीफ है हाथ पैरों में दर्द है और नींद ना आने की कमी बताई थी जब ये बताया तो उन्होंने उसका बीपी भी चेक किया जो नॉर्मल था उसको इलेक्ट्रॉल पाउडर दिया गोलियां दी और इंजेक्शन दिया उसमें उन्होंने देखा था तो उसका चेहरे पे सिर्फ लाल निशान थे बाकी कहीं किसी भी प्रकार की कोई अन्य चोट नहीं थी
In the trial, several holes in the police investigation emerged. The police did not present CCTV footage from the hospital. There were no witnesses. None of the doctors at the hospital mentioned any injuries from strangulation attempt. The victim did not mention any assault on her conversation with doctors when she was admitted. The post-mortem indicated strangulation, but no fingerprints were found.
जब महिला हॉस्पिटल गई थी तो उसके जो कपड़े वो पहनी हुई थी उसमें आता कि वो काले और आसमानी रंग का सूट पहनी हुई थी लेकिन जब पीएम के में जो होता है वो डॉक्टर कहते हैं कि वो फुल आस्तीन के हरे कलर के मतलब कपड़ों में भी काफ़ी डिफरेंसेस था तो उससे ऐसा अनुमान लगाया गया कि हो सकता है उस दिन डॉक्टर ने कई पीएम रिपोर्ट बनाई हो, कुछ किया हो, उनके कारण कहीं की रिपोर्ट कहीं हो गई हो.
Rajesh Vishwakarma is now a free man, but he has paid a heavy price.
ये है स्थिति के काम पे कोई मुझे ले जाता नहीं है. खुली मजदूरी, कहीं गाड़ी माड़ी मिल जाती है चला जाता हूँ, और जहाँ मैं काम करता था आजकल तो वहाँ भी नहीं मुझे लगाया जा रहा. वो जो बोलते हैं अरे वो जेल से आया है ऐसा उनसा, मेरा काम कारोबार पूरा बेकार हो गया. और मकान मालिक कहने जाता हूँ कि सब मेरा सामान दे दो, पैसे लेता है कि पैसे दे दो भाई 13 महीने के. अब इसकी क्या कैसे दूँ, मैं बेघर हूँ, मेरा कोई है ही नहीं.
Rajesh now stays at his sister's house in Govindpura Basti in Bhopal. He has been acquitted of murder charge, but the stigma of going to jail still haunts him. With Ravish Pal Singh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Because that's the tragedy of how broken our system is. With that, I'm going to head into a quick break, but we leave you with this. Kerala became the first state in India to become fully digital literate. The movement was driven by the Women Empowerment Project. Here is our good news today. We leave you with that, getting into a quick break. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Karunakaran and his 73-year-old son Rajan are proud residents of Pullampara, the Gram Panchayat in rural Thiruvananthapuram, the first in the country to achieve full digital literacy in 2022. At 103, Karunakaran is slowly losing eyesight and memory, but still gets excited to make a video call to see his grandchildren. And Rajan, who earlier used a keypad phone, is now adept at using all main apps on his new smartphone.
ഇതിലൂടെ ഈ ഡിജിറ്റൽ യുഗത്തിൽ ജീവിക്കാനും ലോകം മൊത്തം കാണാനും ഇതൊക്കെ ആസ്വദിക്കാനും കഴിഞ്ഞത് തന്നെ ഈ ജീവിതത്തിലെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു ഭാഗ്യമായിട്ട് കണക്കാക്കുന്നു.
എന്തൊക്കെയാ ഇപ്പോൾ ഫോണിൽ മെയിനായിട്ട് ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത്? എന്തൊക്കെയാ
ഇതിൽ യൂട്യൂബ്, ഫേസ്ബുക്ക്.
58-year-old Shamala, returning home after work, is talking to her children on a WhatsApp call. She tells her daughter about the television crew filming her. Shamala and many others in Pullampara were trained by the Women Army of Kerala, Kutumbashri, a state-sponsored empowerment project. The training was conducted in 3 modules comprising 15 activities. It covered basics like installing apps, using WhatsApp, Facebook and other social media, sending messages, searching on YouTube and Google, shooting pictures and videos, booking cooking gas, paying electricity and other utility bills. The 15th activity was creating awareness about digital scams. Anyone successfully completing 6 of the 15 activities is deemed to be digitally literate.
അവരുടെ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ട് അറിഞ്ഞാണ് നമ്മളത് പഠിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. കാരണം അവരുടെ ആവശ്യങ്ങൾ അതനുസരിച്ചാണ് നമ്മൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഒരമ്മ പറയും ഇപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് വീഡിയോ കോൾ വിളിക്കണമെന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ അവരെ പഠിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്. മറ്റുള്ളതൊന്നും പഠിപ്പിക്കാറില്ല. കാരണം അവർ പദ്ധതിക്ക് ആൾക്കാർ ഇങ്ങനെ അറിഞ്ഞ് തന്നെയാണ് വോളണ്ടിയേഴ്സ്മാർ ഇങ്ങോട്ടേക്ക് വന്നത്.
നടത്തിയെടുക്കാൻ നമ്മൾ വളരെയധികം കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. പിന്നെ ഒന്നാമത്തെ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ആൾക്കാർ ഇതിലോട്ട് വരാൻ കുറച്ച് പേര് മാത്രമേ താല്പര്യമുള്ളായിരുന്നു. അതിന്റെ പ്രധാന കാരണം 2 വാർഡിൽ റേഞ്ച് ഇല്ലായിരുന്നു. നമ്മുടെ ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട ജോൺ ബ്രിട്ടാസ് എംപിയാണ് നമുക്ക് അവിടെ ടവർ ജിയോയോട് ചേർന്ന് ടവർ സ്ഥാപിച്ചത്.
Pullampara's success inspired Kerala to adopt its model. It's the country's first state to achieve complete digital literacy at 99.98%. Ernakulam resident M.A. Abdullah Maulavi Bafaki, nearing 105, is probably the oldest person to clear the digital literacy program.
In 1991, 34 years ago, Kerala became the first Indian state to achieve total literacy. So now, from total literacy to digital literacy, we have traveled a long way. It's a matter of pride for Kerala. So this is the real Kerala story.
Kerala's digital literacy module adheres to the digital learning standards defined by global agencies, including UNESCO.
Years of struggle led to the literacy rate that Kerala proudly flaunts, and today it is witnessing yet another revolution in the form of digital literacy, and it's people like him that helped in writing this story that the state believes is the true Kerala story. With video journalist Tinku Rajshekhar, Shubhi Molkeji for India Today from Thiruvananthapuram.